Hello, MCU fans. Today we're going to talk about the bombshell announcements that Feige made at SDCC and how those may impact the overall MCU slate. So there's lots to discuss. Let's dive right in and see what we can find out. Don't forget, we have a July contest running all month long. Be a subscriber, leave a comment. You could win a book or a steelbook. Best of luck. And we have a membership option with lots of cool perks, so you might check it out in case you're interested. Okay, so remember, Marvel now has 3 new divisions: studios, television, and animation. And then they also have this Marvel Spotlight, which to me sounds a lot like special presentations, like Werewolf by Night and Guardians of the Galaxy. And actually, I have some good news on that front, which we'll talk about a little later. So here is the likely Phase 5 slate, or at least the one that I've been trying to put together. And so a couple things I'll say about it up front. Anything in yellow is the TV show, red is an MCU movie, and blue is a Sony movie, just so you can kind of distinguish between those. Also, it is worth mentioning, I have added Hitmonkey to the slate because every time I don't have it here, somebody says, hey dude, where's Hitmonkey? But Hitmonkey is interesting just like Moon Girl in that they're made by Marvel, but they're not technically MCU. I don't think Hitmonkey ever will be, although you never know, Moon Girl may eventually cross over with the MCU. But I wanted to have them in there for completeness. All right, talking about TV shows, let's discuss animation. What If Season 3 and Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. So, very recently, Winterbaum has said that What If Season 3 might be the next animated show that comes out, in terms of animation. And we also know that Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, at least from several announcements, is coming out November 2nd. So keeping those two things in mind, with, you throw in that Agatha All Along is in September, is it possible at least that we may still get What If Season 3 this summer? Maybe in mid to late August? Oh, I'd love it. Because supposedly that season is going to feature a lot of lore about the Watcher, so that would be incredibly cool. But also keep in mind, Eyes of Wakanda is coming at some point. Obviously, it's got a bump, it seems, to 2025. There's no room in 2024, but that's another reason I think they've got to give us What If sooner than later. And of course, we have Daredevil Born Again, which is not animation, it's a TV show, but they're not going to stack too much on top of each other on Disney+. And that has been announced officially, getting the first 9 episodes in March of 2025. So, yeah, there's a lot going on. I mean, between now and early 2025, we're going to be eating pretty good. There's a lot to be seen. All right, so let's look at the rest of Phase 5. And actually, I don't even know when Phase 5 cuts off anymore. Let me know your thoughts on that. What is the end of Phase 5? I mean, it's probably Fantastic Four. In fact, Feige talked a lot about Fantastic Four being the last of the 3 movies in 2025. So basically, Captain America 4, Thunderbolts, asterisk, and then Fantastic Four. So that definitely means Blade's in trouble. I mean, Feige didn't say Blade isn't in 2025, but, he said there's only 3 movies. So, yeah, we got to take out Blade. So if we take out Blade, when does Phase 5 end? Does it end with Fantastic Four, or do they have it end with some of these other shows, which we'll talk about? But speaking of this open slot down here, I had placed Spider-Man 4 June 27th of 2025, because that's a Sony date. But there's no way that thing's going to get done. I don't think they've even started on it. So maybe Marvel gives up its November 7th, and since obviously Spider-Man is a collaboration between Marvel and Sony, maybe it moves then down here. That would work, and I don't think they can push it into 2026. We're going to see that is very full. So hopefully that's when we get Spider-Man. Now, what's interesting is Spider-Verse, Beyond the Spider-Verse, I don't know when that's coming out. I was just guessing winter of 2025. It might be kind of cool to have 2 Spider-Man-related movies sort of back-to-back. I mean, it's a nice doubleheader. You can go see them both. That's our new Barbenheimer, right? Go see both Spider-Man 4 and Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. So who knows? Or maybe this thing moves into 2026. My word, there's so much going on. All right, so let's talk about TV shows, the Disney Plus shows. These are all the shows that are basically done or very nearly done. I mean, Ironheart's been done for a while. Wonder Man, I think, is done. And Marvel Zombies surely is done, right? They've been talking about it forever. So they've got to get these on Disney Plus at some point, and I imagine, that's what's going to happen throughout 2025. But then we've got X-Men 97 Season 2. Please don't make us wait till winter. Please? I mean, maybe that thing swaps with Ironheart or something. Oh my goodness. There is just a lot going on in 2025, the rest of Phase 5. So let me know your thoughts on X-Men 97 Season 2 and when we might get that. Okay, so now let's talk about potential Phase 6. So the only things we know for absolute certain are Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Those were both announced at SDCC. And we know the dates because Marvel has held those dates for a long time. We also know Marvel has at least 3 more dates that they've been holding. They don't tell us, what's happening in them, but they have 3 dates. So before we talk about that, let's fill in a couple TV shows, Disney Plus shows, and then we're going to go to the movies. So I do think we're going to get both Vision Quest and Nova because, well, they've done articles telling us we're going to get Vision Quest, and Brad Winterbaum has certainly hinted very heavily that we're going to get Nova, and I think it's going to be a show from what he said. So, okay, well, those have got to happen some point in time, and there's no way they're happening in 2025. That's too full, and they're not ready yet. So, okay, got those. I know we're going to get the second half of Daredevil Born Again, right? I hope we don't have to wait a year, but you saw how full 2025 is. I don't know where to fit it in 2025. My goodness, there's so much going on. And then I still think we're going to get Young Avengers and Moon Knight Season 2. We got to get Moon Knight Season 2, please. And then Young Avengers, I don't think that's going to be a movie. It'll probably be a TV show, but they have been setting that up basically since Endgame. As soon as an older Cassie walked up to Scott Lang and hugged him, it's like, oh, they're doing Young Avengers. And of course, the Marvels made it really clear. So, my word, we are really full of stuff. Okay, so let's go back to the movies. So there's not much room here if truly Avengers Secret Wars is the last movie in Phase 6. I'm still hoping we get a Secret Wars Part 2 in 2028, but it wasn't announced, so let's just go with the assumption that it all ends May 7th of 2027. Well, we've got to have both Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange 3, right? So besides the fact that we all love Shang-Chi and we need a second movie of his, this movie would resolve the rings, the origin of the rings and their power set, and also the bangles. Because I think they're both Kang tech. I don't think we're going to see Kang again, but they're probably Kang tech, and I could see Dr. Doom, stealing the tech. And then Doctor Strange 3, come on, that's got to happen, right? That tease at the end about the incursion and Clea, got to happen. So now we're down to one movie slot left. What goes there? Well, Armor Wars has been talked about a lot, so for now I'm going to put Armor Wars there. I'm not sure that's the best movie to put there, but if it doesn't go there, will we ever get it? I don't know. But here's why I say it might not be the best movie, because we have maybe 5 other possibilities. World War Hulk has been discussed a ton. Got to have Thor 5 at some point. Nomad, that would be awesome. And then X-Men movie has been discussed recently. And oh, by the way, there's Blade, which still has not been put in its own slot. Oh my word. What do we do here, right? And by the way, I bring up the X-Men movie because there was a recent article discussing the fact there's now a writer for the X-Men movie, and there's been momentum gained behind it. Now, this may be a movie that doesn't happen until Phase 7. That's possible. But it could be that it takes the Armor Wars slot and that it's Avengers versus X-Men. Ooh boy, that'd be cool. Another lead up right to Avengers Doomsday. So, I don't know. There's just so much that we want to see happening, and I wish that they had moved Secret Wars to 2028, make it on the 20th anniversary of the MCU, starting in 2008. But, oh well, this is what we have for now, so I'm going with that. Let me know your thoughts. How do they fill in these slots with the movies? Okay, so now let's talk a little bit about Avengers Secret Wars and what this coloring might mean. Notice the orange and the yellow. Certainly it could be reflecting the Secret Wars 2015 run by Hickman, very famous run, and, same basic color scheme there in the logo. But boy, anytime you see orange and yellow, who cannot think of this guy? So is it the hint that we get RDJ back as Dr. Doom in Doomsday, but then we get a second RDJ back as Iron Man in Avengers Secret Wars? Is he playing a couple roles? Oh my word, this could get crazy. I can't wait to see what Feige is cooking up, because I bet it's going to be something special. By the way, speaking of RDJ, let's talk about him. Is it possible that he becomes God Emperor Doom and he legit knocks Loki off his throne and takes over the 616 multiversal tree? Oh my word, can you imagine that? I don't mean like he kills Loki. It's possible. I hope not. I want Loki and Thor to reunite, darn it. But wow, what a turn of events that would be. Let me know your thoughts on that. That would be crazy. But let's talk about how on earth we're going to get this RDJ character as Doom. So there's lots of ways it could go down. Some people have suggested he is just flat out a Tony Stark variant, right? The pose is saying it all, pretty much. So he's basically in a different universe. So I think the Fantastic Four universe would make a lot of sense, but he's coming from a different universe where instead of becoming, Iron Man, he became Von Doom. Okay, that's possible. Another possibility is it's just the same actor playing two different roles. I mean, here's Chris Evans doing it. He was Johnny Storm in one universe, and then he was Captain America in another. So maybe RDJ is not even playing Tony Stark. He is straight up playing Von Doom from birth all the way through. Okay, that's possible. Another creative possibility that a couple folks have left on my videos, 7488 and Frederick Greenberg 7239, said maybe you split the difference down the middle. Howard and Maria Stark take a trip to Latveria, they die, and Tony is adopted by the Von Doom family, who name him, obviously, Victor. This would kind of take care of both things. He is a Tony Stark variant, but his entire life he has been raised a Von Doom. He studied science, he studied magic. It's everything we would expect from Dr. Doom. He just happens to would have been Tony Stark, if not for his family dying. That's very interesting. Does that split the difference for folks and maybe make everything work? And of course, then we could always turn to the comics, and there are some crazy things in the comics where there was, an experiment that was done and bodies were swapped, memories were swapped. I kind of feel like that's going to be a little too complicated, but there are some examples in the comics where basically they switched minds and insanity ensued. So let me know your thoughts. Which of those four options, because I've thrown out four very viable possibilities, or is there a fifth, even crazier option? Very, very interested to see what on earth they're going to do with him. Also, what is Feige cooking here? So I mentioned earlier I would talk about special presentations / spotlight, and look at this interview. So he was asked by Collider about, can we ever get more of those special presentations? He says, there will be more. You just have to wait. And they said, wait, you're actually developing them? And he's like, yes. More than one? He said, nope, just one. Is it next year? No. Okay, so it's in the future? Yes. So you got to love Feige with the short little answers. But yeah, he straight up confirmed we're getting another special presentation. Okay, so what's it going to be? Well, I've kind of kept this list of special presentations I've seen mentioned, and you can see in every case here, it's developing a specific character on their backstory. And no, I do not see Kang anymore being developed. Who knows? Maybe that's how they finish Kang, I guess. You could have a special presentation, but no, that's not going to happen. But my point is, in each of these cases, it's a character or a group and showing you more about their backstory. So how about it's the RDJ Dr. Doom? A lot of people have said they don't feel like there'll be enough development of his character. I mean, maybe he shows up in a post-credit in Fantastic Four, and then he's in 2 movies. It's too quick. It's just way too quick, they feel. And that's a fair argument. Well, if he's the one that they're creating this special presentation for, that could really develop his backstory and go a long way towards making it feel a fully fleshed out character. So let me know your thoughts on that. Do you think this special presentation that Feige said is happening, and sometime in the next couple years, is it going to be RDJ's Dr. Doom? Or is it one of these other special presentations that are out there? Love to know your thoughts on that. And then still, even with everything we placed in the slate or said needs to go somewhere in the slate, here's things we didn't even talk about. So we have these movies. The only one we know for sure isn't happening is Eternals 2, but I'm keeping it here to remind us that they have to pay off those post-credit scenes. We need to know what happens. I've heard maybe there could be an animated show or something that just gives us a little bit of information, or maybe in Thor 5 they explain it. Somewhere we got to get that resolved. But these other 3 are all very possible. A Wanda movie, Avengers Forever, that would kind of be Secret Wars Part 2, and Black Panther 3. And then there's all these shows that have been mentioned in different states at different times. So some of these are in different states of development, I should say. The one I really want to see from here is Midnight Suns. Please, Marvel, I really, really want Midnight Suns. So, oh my word, you can see there is a lot left to be explained about the slate. So I'm certainly hoping that this event is going to give us a lot of it. D23 coming up next weekend, going to be insane. So I wanted to get this video out so I can show you, just all the things to be thinking about and maybe to get you so excited, honestly, about D23. So let's cross our fingers that they at least tell us the rest of Phase 5 and maybe some hints about Phase 6. All right, Leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts. You know I read and respond to all of them. Don't forget about that July contest. Be a subscriber, leave a comment, win a book or a steelbook. And of course, there's that membership option in case you're interested. And I also love to mention the Discord every time. Here we are discussing, well, the announcement of the century, right? RDJ coming back to join the MCU. So I will leave a pinned comment so you can join. In fact, we have almost 1,600 members, two away. Maybe you could help us get to 1,600. And these members are across the globe, so there are conversations going on 24/7, and we want you to be part of them. I will leave a pinned comment so you can be part of the conversation. Also, if you don't mind, like this video, subscribe if you haven't already. You can check out more content, and we'll all continue to enjoy the ever-growing, the ever-changing Marvel Cinematic Universe.